Hey guys, welcome to today's episode. And we have someone back that is one of our favorite guests, and everyone keeps requesting him back. They're like, get Tim back on because he's so amazing. We have Tim James, AKA the Health Hero. He is the founder of chemicalfreebody.com. He's also the host of an amazing podcast called The Health Hero Show. And today our title is How to Increase Your Nutrition Up to 800%, and what is the best natural medicine in the world. So, Tim, welcome.
Hey, Chantel, thanks for having me back on. I'm excited today to talk about sprouts.
Well, let's really dive in because I think people, when they hear sprouts, they think, oh, okay, that's a great thing, but is that really going to help my nutrition that much? So let's talk
a lot
it.
of people are probably thinking like, yeah, I put those on my hoagies, but I don't think we can do that anymore because doesn't sprouts get like salmonella and E. coli or something like that? Because that's what ends up happening. So mainstream media controls everything, and they don't want people eating sprouts because sprouts are the most powerful medicine in the world. And when we get done with this little talk today, you guys are going to know why. Your listeners are going to know why they want to get sprouts in their house 365 days a year, because this medicine is very inexpensive and it really, really works because it's part of nature, which we are part of nature. So it's very exciting.
Well, and I do think they've gotten a bad rap, like you said, from before, and they shouldn't, because they are so amazing for us.
Yeah.
So give us some of the benefits for them and what they can do.
Well, let me, since I brought it up, let me clear up that E. coli salmonella issue. So the reason why sprouts from time to time have E. coli and salmonella, and which, by the way, 4 times as many people per year get sick from salmonella and E. coli from eating just chicken eggs. Okay, so let's just put that into context. But you're not going to see a mainstream media or newspaper saying stop eating eggs. They're not going to do that. Mm-hmm. So the reason why that can happen is because those sprouts people are growing the sprouts in animal manure soil. Okay. So when you have animals that are living in small pens and all they're living and walking around is in urine and feces, that's what breeds the salmonella and the E. coli. If you take that and it hasn't been exposed to sunlight properly, and they're using it because they just scrape this stuff out of the pens and then they till it up and move around, then they sell it to you at Home Depot or whatever, right? So, but in nature, a cow would like poop out in the grass, and then the sun's going to hit it, and those UV rays are going to disinfect it, and nature does its thing, and it regenerates itself back into the soil, the cycle of life. So that's it. So when you're growing sprouts, number one, you have to make sure you're getting your sprouting seeds from somewhere that doesn't grow their seeds in animal manure. That's easy. Then number two, don't grow your sprouts in animal manure. And some of your sprouts don't even require soil. So we can grow these in glass jars. So that's just to cover that. Now, you were talking about what's the benefits, right? That was the question.
Right.
So the benefits are, here's an acronym for you, HOPE, hope. And what sprouts have that other foods don't have is this acronym HOPE. These are hormones, oxygen, phytochemicals, and enzymes. Now, when we talk about nutrition, a lot of people are focused on the macros. They're like, got to get your protein, you got to get your high quality fats, and you got to get your carbohydrates. Well, that's important. And then some people took it another level, and people are usually familiar with vitamins, minerals, trace minerals, and how important that is, right? And these are big, important things too. But have anybody really heard about hormones, oxygen, phytochemicals, and enzymes? There's not a lot of people out there really talking about that or even know about it, even understand it. So the only way you're going to get these now, hormones actually help our cells communicate better, right? We have to have good communication with our cells. And more often today, we're not having that because of these estrogen mimicking hormones that we're getting from drinking out of plastic bottles, right? So if you're drinking, you got your water, you got spring water, but you're drinking out of a plastic bottle, you're putting estrogen mimicking chemicals in your body that's going to disrupt your hormones. If you're wearing a Lycra bra or a synthetic, Under Armour shirt, like for playing baseball, like I did, these polyesters, nylons, Lycras.
Oh my gosh, I'm wearing one right now.
Take it off, girl. All right. But don't burn it. We used to tease people and say, hey, burn that bra. But we're like, don't do it. You're going to cause more pollution, right? So yeah, for women listening, the most important thing you can do is like, for the breast is to get these Lycra bras off, because they actually, and the bigger the breast, the more the problem, because if they have the wire underneath there, it's even more of a problem. So the breasts are supposed to move. They're part of your lymphatic system. They're supposed to swing and move. That's why it's really important I actually did some research on this, and bras were actually made in the late 1800s. And it was kind of silly, because when you start wearing a bra, it's like putting your arm in a sling. You're going to atrophy and make your arm weaker. So you're actually making the breast weaker, and they sag. But most importantly, the breasts are supposed to sway and swing, and that's part of your detoxification system. And when you put a bra on there, and then you're off-gassing these hormone mimickers into the breast, and then it's tight and it holds them in, it's a recipe for disaster. Can anybody say?
Okay, hold on.
Breast cancer.
So I need to. Okay, so are you basically telling women just don't wear a bra, just go loosey goosey and let the girls fly? Is that what you're saying, or let me clarify what you're saying?
Yeah. If I was a woman, knowing what I know, I first of all, I wouldn't wear a toxic bra, and and I know women, but I wouldn't wear a bra. I wouldn't wear one. I just wouldn't wear one. So there are natural sports bras that you can kind of wear if you need to for running and that kind of stuff, but get them off as much as you can. And I did some deep research on this like 11 years ago. And like when interviewed, like, I think it was like some crazy number, like 27% of the women said that they were still wearing their bras all night while they slept.
Oh my gosh. Not me. I sleep naked.
I was like, what? And then when asked why, they said, in case my husband wakes up and looks over so my boobs can look perky. I'm like, look, ladies, if you have a guy like that, you need to punt him down the road and go get somebody else, because that is ridiculous. Like this is your health we're talking about here. It's just silly stuff. So
Hey guys, I really want you to join our intermittent fasting and OMAD Facebook group. We're doing tons of giveaways right now for posting your before and after pictures, and just for posting a question in there. We're giving away free protein shakes, some digest aid, all kinds of fun stuff. So please join our intermittent fasting and OMAD Facebook group. The link is in the show notes.
Anyway, we're getting off topic, but so let's talk about sprouts. So we're talking about sprouts. Sprouts have these hormones in them that work perfectly like a symphony orchestra coming into your body, and they are going to help our cells communicate better, right? And if our cells are communicating better, we are going to feel better. We're going to have more energy. Things are going to work better. We're going to lose weight, all these types of things. The next one is oxygen. Oxygen is our primary nutrient. Try not breathing. See how long that lasts. You will die in about 4 to 7 minutes. We can live without water for about 11 days. We can go without food for a couple months, but oxygen, 4 to 7 minutes, we're goners. So what's inside of what's the byproduct of plants? It's oxygen. We breathe out carbon dioxide. That's our waste product. The plants are like, woohoo, we need carbon dioxide. They take it in, they need carbon, and then they use it, and then they spill out. And the output is oxygen for us. So these living plants have this chlorophyll inside of them, and the byproduct is oxygen. So when you're eating living foods that are about 80% water, they're loaded with oxygen. And what is water as well? H2O. There's more oxygen there. So when you're eating a living food, you're getting lots of oxygen into the body. And oxygen is a deterrent to viruses, bacteria, mold, yeast, fungus, parasites, cancers, mutagens. These types of organisms thrive in a low oxygen environment. So when you're pumping sprouts into your body, or if you're making sprout juice like they do at the Hippocrates Health Institute, you're flooding the body with oxygen, and you're creating an environment where those harmful organisms can't thrive and get out of control. So number 3 is the phytochemicals. Now, phytochemicals, phyto means plant, and chemical. So it's phytochemical, phytonutrient, however you want to say it. It's all the same stuff. These little things are amazing. And there could be, I'll just give an example. Wheatgrass, when I first started this work, Oregon State University here in Oregon is one of the top phytochemical researchers places in the world. And at that time, they had discovered that wheatgrass had 70,000 phytochemicals. These plant chemicals or plant nutrients that have the ability to go into our body and keep us young and reverse disease and keep us healthy. Like 70,000 of these things. 2 years later, they were up to 74,000 phytochemicals that they had counted just in wheatgrass. So we don't even know. There could be hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of these microscopic chemicals in plants that have the ability to heal, reverse, and prevent disease, right? And one of the best examples is Johns Hopkins University. We'll probably get into this a little bit. Let me find it. But there was a guy, Dr. Paul Tillet. He's a medical doctor, distinguished professor at Johns Hopkins from Yale University. And he ran the pharmacological and molecular sciences department and studies of molecular mechanisms involved in chemoprotection against cancer. Okay. And what Tillet discovered is there's a phytochemical or phytonutrient in broccoli called sulforaphane. And it made headline news. He said after 50 years of research, he put the sulforaphane in a petri dish and added a cancerous cell, and it killed cancer. He said that he'd never seen anything in his 50 years of research, nothing that killed cancer like this nutrient sulforaphane did from broccoli. And even more powerful was the sprouted broccoli seeds had even more amounts of this. They also found it in other cruciferous vegetables like cabbages, and then went on to actually find out that onion sprouts and broccoli sprouts were even more anti-cancer because they had higher amounts of this cancer-fighting nutrient called sulforaphane, right? This made national news. And even George Bush Sr. was president at the time, and he was like, "I don't like broccoli," and they put like 600 pounds of broccoli on like the White House steps or something. It was like national news. Now, from that one blast, this goes to show you the power of social media. This is the power of social media. This one little blip of talking about how powerful broccoli was and what it could do for you. The price of broccoli seeds doubled overnight, and it has remained the same since 1991. Here we are, 2001, 30 years later, 30 freaking years later, and broccoli seeds are still double or more expensive than radish seeds, red clover seeds, alfalfa seeds, and onion and garlic. Why? Because there was some education there and awareness, so people started going to it, right? So phytochemicals are powerful. Unfortunately, when you cook food, you kill them all. They're done. You've wiped out that level of nutrition.
Hey guys, I'd love for you guys to listen to a podcast that we did about the side effects from wine and the differences between natural wine and traditional wine. So go to chantelrayway.com/wine and you'll see transcripts, you'll see some different episodes. But here's the thing, you can get your penny bottle now of dry farm wines and make the decision that if you're going to have wine, to make sure you have the most natural, healthy wine in the world with no additives, only natural ingredients. All the other wines out there have so much sulfate, so much sugar. Why put that poison in your body? So get your penny bottle now at chantelrayway.com/wine.
Okay, let's go to the last one. Enzymes, one of my favorites. So enzymes are the catalyst of life. And some people are like, well, they're a protein. Well, they are, but they're not just a protein. Think of a protein like a taxi cab, and inside that taxi cab is an electric lightning bolt. So the protein is the carrier of the electric into the body. We need these enzymes for everything. There's a gentleman, I'm losing my mind here, but he's a 50-year enzyme researcher, and he just goes to show that like we need enzymes to digest our food, and we need enzymes for every process in our body. Every process. And I know when we teach people that, we have actually a couple ducts in our upper mouth and 4 ducts in our lower mouth that secrete the enzymes, amylase and lipase, that help us break down starches and fats. So our body naturally produces them. So they're important, but you can also get them in the foods. So when you eat the food has the enzymes in it that will help you digest. And also whatever's left over, your body will take it and go use it for whatever it needs. So these will give you a ton of energy. They help you break your food down. Enzymes are the catalyst of life, and it's super important. Now, again, like I said with the phytochemicals, unfortunately, hormones, oxygen, phytochemicals, and enzymes are completely wiped out and destroyed if you steam, pasteurize, cook, radiate, fry, boil, air fry. It doesn't matter what you do. If you cook it, heat it, toast it, you're wiping out that whole level of micronutrients that nobody's talking about. So it just kind of
hold on. I want to ask you about that, because I think that that is a big topic. I know that I have a friend who's really into just eating raw foods and not cooking. But I also know that for digestion, some people, because of their gut imbalances, they don't do well when they eat a lot of raw foods because their body doesn't digest it well. So let's talk about that for just a second.
Well, number one, the reason why they're not digesting well is because they haven't been eating raw and living foods their whole life. Raw and living foods are the weights. They are the resistance that's going to build the muscle. They're going to build the the little intestinal villi in that peristaltic motion that's going to push your food through you. And those little villi are going to pull the nutrients in through the intestinal lining into the bloodstream, right? So since we've went on a lot, like me, I grew up on the all cooked diet. Luckily, we had a farm and we had I was eating apples and stuff like that all the time just because I liked them and stuff out of the garden. But so we've got to the point where a lot of people, they try to eat raw foods and they can't really digest it. It causes even more trouble, gases and bloating, right? So the first step is we got to get that digestive tract, the pathway of elimination cleaned out. We use our product called Gut Detox to do that, or enemas or colon hydrotherapy. We got to get that's step one. We got to put good bacteria in there, those probiotics, raw fermented foods, kimchi, sauerkrauts, build up that gut bacteria to help digestion and elimination. And then we have to chew our food really, really, really well. So if you want to start rehabilitating that gut, take whatever percentage of food that's raw and living right now. Let's say maybe you're at 10% and the rest 90% is cooked. Bump it up to 20% by weight, raw and living foods, and chew it really, 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 really well. And take digestive enzymes. You'll take these digestive enzymes. That's why we have digestive enzymes in our product line, because we know people need it for the first 2 or 3 years as they're trying to rehabilitate the gut. You might look healthy and good on the outside, but I can guarantee you, in my experience of coaching over 600 people personally one-on-one and thousands of people in our group, that 80% of people that are healthy looking still have an atrophied digestive tract that needs rehabilitated, right? Mm-hmm. So start small, chew your food well, take your enzymes with your meals. That's going to give you the weights. That's the raw and the living foods. And then the digestive enzymes are going to be like the spotters to help you as you rehabilitate, as you're putting that muscle, that weight on the muscle and building back up that resistance in the digestive tract. So that's how that works.
Hey guys, I'm so excited. My new book, One Meal and a Tasting, is out now. And if you order the book on Amazon, just the regular paperback edition, if you go in and make a review, you will get the audio book for free. Send a copy of your receipt to questions@chantelrayway.com and you'll get the audio book right away. Now, I know that sprouts just have so many excellent sources of calcium, potassium, magnesium, folate, beta carotene, so many things. But I did read an article recently that was very interesting. It was talking about how sprouts are such a great source of vitamin K, and that they are seeing a lot more people with vitamin K deficiencies. And it's due to a lot of people drinking so much and people having more liver disease, and that something about that vitamin K. And if you're drinking a lot, I guess with COVID, people drinking, causing more pressure on their liver, and they're having, a vitamin K deficiency. Have you heard that at all?
I haven't heard about that, but it would just make sense that people have vitamin K deficiencies, they have vitamin D deficiencies, they have vitamin C deficiencies, vitamin A, thiamine. I mean, we are deficient. I mean, when you look at the soil, we're right next to a farm right now and I see them out there. All farms on average are about 85 devoid of nutrients. So we are malnourished as a country. Like, we have the same or higher levels. Now hold your hat on this one. We have the same or higher levels of malnutrition than a lot of third world countries. Think about that, because a lot of them, at least, they're picking food out of the ground and eating it when they find it. It's fresh, wild stuff, right? They're growing it over there. Over here, the soils have been farmed out. They're using till farming, which really destroys the microbiome and the bacteria in the soil, which is critical to transport the nutrients, especially like magnesium, into the root system of the plant. So it's even in the plant. That's why there's so many magnesium deficiencies on a cellular level today. So we need to get back to permaculture, undisturbed soil, growing that way. Get away from these big monocrops where they just spray a bunch of synthetic hormone disrupting fertilizers and pesticides and fungicides and herbicides and larvicides on our crops and human feces. I mean, they're using, the waste treatment plants at big cities and stuff like that. What's left over is this sludge, and they used to have to pay to get rid of it. But now what they do is that's our urine and feces, that's in all the toxins. And think about all the people that ate the pharmaceutical drugs and all the crap that we eat and we urinate and pee it out, and it goes into that system. We have this sludge left over, and now they sell that to farmers as what's called biosolids, and they spray it all over our crops. So if you're buying vegetables and the PLU sticker starts with a 4 and a 3, you're most likely your stuff was grown in human feces and urine. But that's not the problem. The biggest problem is the 60,000 toxic chemicals that are in that soup.
Wow. Well, this has been amazing. Tell listeners, we are going to do a part 2 and a part 3, so you guys have to stay tuned. We've got more to have. But before we do, and before we wrap up this session, tell listeners where they can find you and where they can follow you.
They can find me at chemicalfreebody.com. That's chemicalfreebody.com. I also have a podcast called The Health Hero Show. It's on all the major platforms. And if people would like to try our products, we just want them to go to the product tab, click the drop down to the savings bundle so they can get a discount. And we created a discount code for you, Chantel. I'm trying to find, do you remember what it was?
I think it was either waste away or fasting. I can't remember.
It was waste away. So we'll do waste away. I found it. So you get an extra 5%. So you get a double discount. You can try this stuff out. And, we have a little jumpstart bundle, or you can go all the way to the total energy and detox bundle that I do and just get started. And again, we have a double your money back guarantee. So there's no worries trying stuff out. And if something doesn't work, please reach out to us. We have other products and we'll have either myself or a coach will jump on the phone with you, and we'll find another company that will fit that need for you.
Awesome. You guys stay tuned for part 2, part 3, part 4. We've got so much more coming. See you soon.